fam, the road trip is here. Here we go. Y'all are tilted a little bit. And it just made it worse. Oh man. Well, we might have to just go with this. This might be the business. Probably turn that down. Make the audio a little better. Oh, that's why I had it the other way. So the mic's right there this time. So the audio might not be as good on this road trip as the last one. Apologies. I see some people coming in here. What's up, y'all? So thank you all for responding to my posts on Facebook. We got a bunch of responses. And so today on this road trip Q&A, I'll be going over some of your all's craziest and scariest experiences while on location. Experience. I'm going to be going over it. I already recorded, like I did last time. I recorded your comments onto here so I can listen to them, and then we will discuss them, and it'll be great, guys. I'm going to be late by a considerable margin. And not too bad. I'm not going to be too late. But I'm supposed to be there at 6:45. If I didn't stop to get gas, I'd be there at 7:04. But I'm going to run out of gas right as I get there. So I'm going to have to stop and get some gas, which is going to probably put me at like 7:15, 7:20. So yeah, your boy's going to be late, but that's normal for me. It's not out of the ordinary. Something I've been working on. I do have just about everything I can think of packed up. I brought the metal detector this time and a little hand shovel just in case any of the locations let us metal detect. Or if they want, like, I'm going to offer it as a free service. Like, look, I'll metal detect your grounds. Anything that I find will be your all's. Like, the location can keep it. All I ask is that you let me film it. Just let me film. I'm sure none of the locations are going to agree to it, though. But I brought it just in case. All right. So guys, I really wish the angle was slightly different, but I don't know if I have the dexterity to adjust it. See, that doesn't change the rods on it. Hey, that kind of worked. It's a little tilted now, but oh. Also, the car's a little shaky. I filled up the tires with air. Maybe one of the tires is overfilled or something. Oh. Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's all right. So it's a very overcast day, which is fine with me. It's easier. For some reason, it's easier for me to stay more alert and awake while driving when it's overcast. When it's sunny, it's like it's just so nice that it's relaxing. It's like too relaxing. I wonder how I had this last time. This is a little bit different than I had it last time. Anyways, now that I see a bunch of people here, guys, we are going to get to it, and we're going to be listening. Oh yeah, for those of you who didn't see the Patreon last night, we built another gateway device. That's right. So we'll be using 2 brand new gateway devices on this trip. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be freaking awesome. And the new one I built, it's like the lightest weight gateway I've ever built, and it sounds great. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like so good. And so we're going to be using that a lot. And we were getting a lot of responses. Like last night on the Patreon stream, the spirits kept talking about Tesla, Nikola Tesla. And so it was really cool. It was really, really cool. All right, anyways, we're about to begin. I want to get around this corner and up through here, and then we will start. And I figure I'll probably go live as long as we're keeping it fresh. And after a few hours, I'll probably refocus on the road. Yeah, the car's rolling really well. It's just, it's not as smooth as it was. But then again, when you inflate your tires, you're going to feel more of the road. Grand total, like all four combined, I was like 20 psi low. And the better your tires roll, the better gas mileage you get. But the lower tire pressure you have, the smoother the ride feels. So that's probably contributing. Jeez. I hate passing these trucks that have like exposed lumber. It reminds me of Final Destination too much. Let's go ahead and pass this truck with the exposed lumber here. Alright, so guys, we're about to get into your all's scariest and craziest paranormal experiences. I wanted to hear your all's so that way I could get hyped for this trip, because the more possibilities you fill your head with, the more likely it is something will happen. That's my belief. That's my belief. Alright, let's turn on this bad boy. You know what? I'll probably just... Man, no one's going the speed that I want to go. So I'm going to have to pass this person. Look at all these trucks. Alright guys, I'm trying to just get like I'm trying to get into the middle lane after I pass these trucks, and then we will listen. Let's check the audio real quick. Alright, it's not too bad. It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the greatest audio. Ugh. Alright, finally, here we go. Now it is time to rock and roll.
Alright, what's up, Future Eric? First up, Tabitha Powell says that she's been choked a few times by spirits. And she says that's the scariest experiences, but she's also had a lot of crazy experiences too, but being choked by a spirit.
Alright, so that was Tabitha. Tabitha said that she's been choked by a spirit. And guys, have any of you all felt that before, choked by a spirit? That's wild. And there's a handful of things that go into that kind of physical manifestation. So I'm assuming Tabitha means that she could feel the hands on her throat, or maybe Tabitha was talking about just being choked up, like the spirit was like closing her like windpipe, but without the pressure of the hands. Either way, a spirit causing you to not be able to breathe is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And I think it's one or two things could be causing it. Obviously, an angry, restless spirit with poltergeist ability, like with enough energy to be a poltergeist. Maybe the spirit was trying to be protective of its area. Maybe it was trying to send a message or a warning. Or, of course, the other obvious thing is a demonic entity. Because in theory, a demonic spirit would have enough energy to cause you to choke. And it also depends on the situation. So I don't think I've ever been choked by a spirit, but I have had instances where a spirit has overcome me and made it to where it feels like I couldn't move, made it to where I feel like I couldn't open my eyes. Especially at Revenant Acres. Revenant Acres was one of the scariest experiences I ever had, where a spirit just like did something to me. So at Revenant Acres, Nick and me were upstairs investigating. It was our first night there, and we were there for 2 nights, and this was on the first night. And we're standing up there, and then all of a sudden I get this rush, this wave over me, and I close my eyes, and it felt like I could stand there forever. It felt like I was being rocked slowly to sleep. And it was this weird, draining feeling. It was like draining, but you're wrapped up in a warm blanket and you'll never be able to move again. It was this weird dichotomy of it was like terrifying comfort. And I knew something was wrong immediately. As soon as I felt it, I knew something was wrong. Yeah, guys, if you all see someone throw down, definitely put the fire in the chat for me, because I'm not able to read it. There's a serious glare on the phone right now. But to all of you throwing down, thank you so much. That's huge, especially being on the road. Boots on the... Oh, I forgot my boots! Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that hurts. But at least I forgot the boots and not the metal detector. But it's not like I'll even be able to use the metal detector. Oh my God. Guys, I have the crummiest shoes on. I don't think they'll last the rest of this trip. I was only going to use these shoes for driving because they're so comfortable. Oh my goodness. I might have to stop at Walmart tomorrow and buy some boots. God. All right, anyways. So, Tabitha, thank you for sharing your experience. Getting choked by a spirit has to be absolutely terrifying. And the amount of energy it takes for a spirit to do that is truly remarkable. But spirits can do a lot of weird things. Our spiritual energy is something that we're just totally unfamiliar with in this day and age. We don't have a clear understanding of how the spirit's possible that we will feel choked, because there's that connection, there's that unbreakable connection, and it's important for us to realize this. We've lost sight of that kind of thing. All right, next I think is Robert.
Next is Robert. Robert was at Eastern State Penitentiary, and Robert saw a full guard with his green uniform, buttons, and a cap walk in front of the door. So he saw a prison guard walking around that wasn't actually there. And so he wonders why a spirit would show themselves at certain times. Maybe so we don't get scared. Maybe they intend for us to get scared. But sometimes they just want to make their presence known. So his question is, why did the guard show himself to me? And was it almost like I was meant to see it? Because it was an experience that got me into the paranormal and also IGC research.
All right, he has another question after that. But first, Robert is talking about an experience he had at Eastern State Penitentiary. Basically, at Eastern State, he saw the apparition, full-bodied apparition of a guard walking around. A guard with the uniform, the cap. He saw the buttons. He saw everything crystal clear. And he was the only one out of his group that saw it. And so Robert's asking, why did the spirit show itself to him? And is it because that's what got him into the paranormal? And I think there's a good case to be made for that kind of thing, because a lot of times there's that one experience people have that gets them into the paranormal. And it may not even be their first paranormal experience. It might be an experience they have, like just a one-off random experience that gets them to go deep into the paranormal. For instance, I had a lot of paranormal stuff happen my entire life, and I never got into it. A lot of weird, super creepy stuff happened my entire life, and I never got into the paranormal until I was in my room one day. I had a recorder out, and I was recording. All of a sudden, my blood pressure dropped. Like I was trying to record an EVP. My blood pressure dropped. Like my vision went black. Like all I could see was like I was seeing through tunnels. And then it just faded. It just like happened for like 10 seconds, then faded. And then I listened back to the recording, and at that spot on the recording, you can hear a female voice say my full name, my first, middle, and last name. And I believe it was my grandmother. I believe it was my maternal grandmother. And also, I was recording with an Olympus on high quality setting. It wasn't like the settings we use now. It was on the very highest quality setting, and the recorder was completely still. There was no movement in the room, nothing going on. And when I played it back, I was playing it just through the tiny little Olympus speaker, an Olympus 4200, and you could hear it plain as day. It says my full name. And I freaked out, and I thought someone was messing with me. So I go out, and like Laramie was in the living room studying, and she had her headphones on. She was studying for an upcoming test to try to get into a college. And so I was like, Laramie, are you messing with me? And she was like, what are you talking about? I thought she was messing with me. I thought Pops was messing with me. And then I started thinking rationally about it. It's like, how could they have got that on the recorder without me hearing it in real time? There's no way they could have. And that experience is what led me all the way into the paranormal. That's what got me into it. Now, and I've seen so much crazy stuff before then, but it was that experience. That like hooked me, I guess. It was that experience that got me to start doing this. It was that experience that literally changed my life forever. Because back then I was a full-time musician, and that I thought that would be my entire life. I always thought that was going to be what I did for the rest of my life. I never imagined we'd be on this killer road trip right now. Never imagined that. Now, being a musician, you're on the road a lot touring, like playing shows, but I never imagined I'd be on a road trip, going to these locations, meeting up with the people I'm about to meet up with. Like that one EVP changed everything for me. But yeah, so Robert, to answer your question, yes, I do believe, I'm glad they fixed that. I do believe that they will reach out at certain times. And maybe there's a force greater than us. There's a force bigger than us that's pulling us in and bringing us in. And it's possible it's the Lord. It's possible it's the Lord determining that we are meant for this kind of work. Because it's not for everybody. It really is not for everybody. And in fact, I recommend not getting into the paranormal to most people. Like maybe like as a hobby or, for fun, but to do it day in and day out like this, it's more taxing than people think. And when you initially get into it, it warps your mind. It literally changes the way your brain thinks. And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous, especially if you start secluding yourself, if you start, isolating yourself. And so it's a dangerous thing to get into full time. Great for a hobby, great for fun, but if you're getting into it full time, you've got to be extremely careful. And it's hard not to talk about it to people. But that's something like most normal people would not understand half of the stuff you and me do. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But yeah, and then Robert has another question here.
Robert also wants to know why sometimes a spirit comes through the location, and then the next time you visit them, they no longer come through at all. Is it because they moved on, or is it because something at that location changed?
Robert, that's a great question. So Robert asks, why do sometimes you'll go to a location and talk to a spirit, and it's like off the hook communication, and then you go back the next time and the spirit's gone, and he's asking, is it because the spirit's moved on, or has something at the location changed? And Robert, I think both of those things are accurate. So a lot of times I've found that when you have like really good communication with the spirit, it's because they're in the present, they're there with you, and they will eventually move on. They will eventually either move to the light, maybe they'll go somewhere else, maybe they'll just dissipate, but they do eventually move on. And that happens more often than people think. But as far as the locations go, what's the hold up here? As far as locations go, where it's just off the chain all the time, but you can't reach the same spirit again. It's possible that those locations are doorways. Like, for instance, Post Town. I think Post Town is a great example of a doorway or a gateway or a portal. And at Post Town, there's definitely something that goes in and out. There's definitely traffic, spiritual traffic there. And there are spirits that remain there. Like, for instance, the spirit of Sarah. I'm not sure exactly why she stays there, but she does. And also, one thing that can really change a location is the investigators that are with you. So you might bring a handful of spirits with you, and they might not feel like communicating until they're at that location. It might be that once you get there, a spirit all of a sudden just feels the energy, or a spirit all of a sudden realizes that they can talk. Or maybe it's just like a perfect combination of location and energy that allows spirits that are normally with you anyways, it allows them to come through at certain locations. So there's a handful of reasons why a spirit might not come through again. And unfortunately, I had the experience of losing contact with Frank and Maxine. These were two spirits that I really wish I had known what I know now. Because Frank and Maxine were able to talk just willingly. Frank was able to use anything. Frank was able to communicate through any device, through any piece of equipment. And Maxine, whenever she would talk, she would always come through in a female robotic sounding voice. It'd be a slightly robotic female sounding voice. And it was clearly Maxine every time. And for months, I would say for a period of 6 months, I was talking to them no problem. Damn, they're going fast. I was talking to them no problem for like 6 months straight, and then all of a sudden they up and left. And I've been devastated about it, because I assumed that was just like normal communication once you get going, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was something way more intense than usual. And what I would do differently is I would have recorded more. I would have recorded with more angles, with more audio sources. I would have done more testing. Because Frank and Maxine, they would use any piece of equipment. And like when I got my first SLS, when I got the first Connect set up, I was in my living room, I unboxed it, I plugged it in, I downloaded all the software, plugged it into my laptop, and as soon as I turned it on, I had it just sitting on a desk. I had it on a little tiny end table in the middle of the living room. I had it sitting there, facing me, and as soon as I turned it on, there were two spirits mapped beside me, Frank and Maxine, and they were mapped in open space across a huge depth, not on any objects or anything. There were just two free-floating spirits beside me, mapped into the camera as soon as I turned it on. And it was Frank and Maxine wondering what the camera was, wondering what's up with the camera. And to this day, there's only been a handful of experiences I've had that have been as powerful as Frank and Maxine. And there's been a couple locations, a couple sessions where it's been off the charts like that. And especially the call-out sessions. We've had some really direct back and forth call-out sessions. But the one spirit that comes to mind when I think of that level of activity, of back and forth, is Harry. Harry is a spirit that's attached to a doll that Jane from Paranormal Voice was able to borrow. And we did a session with Harry, and Harry came through all of my equipment. So we did a live stream where Jane and me were using Google Hangouts, and it's like Google Hangouts was like Zoom. And we told Harry to come over to my office and use the gear, and he was able to use the REM pod. He showed up on the Connect camera. He talked through the gateway. It was just ridiculous. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And that was one session that was on the level. I was a bit, oh wow, this truck is called Spirit. I'm trying to flip y'all around. Oh, come on. Look at the side there. That says Spirit right there. Spirit Logistics. What the heck? What the heck? That's crazy. There is a truck company called SLS too, and I was on my way to Trans-Allegheny the last time I went, and after I built that SLS, I was driving along doing a trip like this, and the truck said SLS. And I was like, what the hell? But SLS could stand for a million things. But yeah. Anyways, back on topic. Guys, I was going to stop at that Cincinnati outlet mall if I could get my crap together in time, and get those shoes. I found those shoes. I found the name of them, but they're so much more expensive everywhere besides the outlet mall. The outlet mall really does have them way less than buying them online. Anyways.
Robert, that's a great question. Tony Wheeler says, I had a ghost child crawl into bed with me once. Wow, that's intense.
All right, Tony Wheeler says that she had a ghost child crawl into bed with her. Guys, how terrifying would that be? That's like paranormal movies. That's creepy. So imagine you're laying in your bed, lights are off, it's late, and then all of a sudden you feel hands and feet crawling on the bed, and then an icy chill goes down your spine. Goosebumps on all your arms and legs, your head, your neck, tingling sensation, and you feel it getting closer. You feel it crawling right up next to you. My goodness. So those experiences are pretty creepy, but since we've talked about them before, I've realized that they're not super uncommon like I thought they were. So back in the day, one of the things that I used to have happen was I would lay down in my bed, or I'd be sitting on my bed. I'd just be like in or on the bed, and I would feel steps. And at first, it felt like a cat. It felt like a cat jumped on the bed and started walking, and you could feel paw, 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 paw. And I would feel it like walk up, like, and I always sleep on my side. I would feel it walk up to my back and like press against my back. And then I would get the courage up to lift up and look behind me, and there's nothing there. And then it got bigger, and then it started feeling like a big dog, like, and the steps were like that of a big freaking shepherd dog or something, and it would walk up to me and try and lay down next to me. And then it started feeling like a human, and then it started feeling like feet on the bed, like someone standing on the bed walking, and then dropping down next to me, and I would jump up like super quick, because it would feel like someone jumped on the bed. Hold on, I gotta send a message real quick. A voice message, mind you. Yo, I'm live streaming a Q&A right now, but what's up? Let me know what's up. Send me a voice message or text me or something. But yeah, guys, the things crawling around in bed with you, it's more common than I thought it was. Like, it's so freaky though, because it's a real phenomenon where you feel something or someone walking around bed with you. And oh my God, I just remembered the creepiest one I ever had. Oh my God. So one time I felt someone get into the bed, and they got up next to me and started spooning me, and they put their arm and leg over me, and I could feel it. I could feel their arm, and then they put their hand on my face, and I could feel the fingers and the hand on my face. Why am I even talking about this? All right, back on topic anyways, back on topic. Damn, all right. Hey, it's still cool though. More for us that way. All right, next thing. Now that I'm all freaked out thinking about that, jeez. Ooh, all right, next I got to get my mind off of it.
My girl Candace Budzinski says, as I was trying to fall asleep, I felt a presence close up to my face, like almost pressing against my skin. And then I felt a strong puff of air, like compressed air, blow onto the area between my nose and chin, which caused me to gasp, flip on the light, jump out of bed, and sit there for about 20 minutes trying to make sense as to what the hell just happened.
So what were we just talking about? Candace Budzinski. Candace, that story, perfect timing. Perfect timing. So Candace felt someone press their face against her face while she's in bed and then blow a puff of air on her. And guys, those kind of spirits, I believe, are one of two things. They're either attachments or they're attached to the house. And either way, they're attached to you or your home, is what I believe. And they're getting real cozy with you. They're getting real comfortable with you. Or they could be incubus. They could be incubi or succubi. But either way, man, I can't stop thinking about the other. Okay, all right. So Candace, those kinds of experiences are absolutely terrifying. And one thing I started doing is I keep a bottle of sage spray right next to my bed. And I haven't had any experiences while sleeping that I can remember in a long time. So occasionally stuff will happen, usually after like a crazy night of communication or something. Something crazy will happen while I'm sleeping, but it's been a long time since I've had any sleep disturbances, which I used to have them every single night. Every single freaking night. But not anymore, which is good. Guys, I freaking overslept. I managed to oversleep, and the only reason I got up is because my girls, they were going ballistic. I meant to get up at 8:30. I got up at 10. Also, I thought this drive was 5 hours. It's 6 hours. So I was behind the ball before I even woke up. Anyways, Candace, thank you for sharing your experience. I don't remember what's next. Let's check it. Let's check it. Also, let me get my GPS back up. Come on. Got him. All right. Also, thank you, Lord, for keeping the rain away. It's tried to rain a bunch of times, but the Lord is like, nope. We're going to have a nice, smooth drive.
Candy X said, actually, it was a ghost town. I got spooked by a skeleton doggy, Halloween decoration, and then minutes later, it flew off the counter it was on. That's wild.
That was from Candy. And Candy said her scariest or her craziest experience was at Poasttown Elementary with the skeleton dog. So she said the skeleton dog, she put her hand next to it and it bit her. Somehow the skeleton dog bit her. And then minutes later, it goes flying off the shelf. And that's at Poasttown Elementary. And guys, I've had poltergeist activity happen at Poasttown before on the playground. On the playground, I had a spirit box launched at me, like chucked, like something just, whoa, like threw it super hard. And the only reason it didn't smack me right in the face is because it got caught on the cord and went flying back. But the poltergeist activity, even though it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It does happen. And it's always one-off small things. So if you ever see videos of like multiple things flying around and poltergeist activity happening over and over again, and that stuff, you can take it with a grain of salt that it's entertainment. Real poltergeist activity is usually a concentrated blast of energy. It's usually a door slam and then nothing else the rest of the night, or a spirit box being launched at you and then nothing else, or like the skeleton dog, or that freaking doll. So that doll at Post Town that you press, like you have to press it and it sings songs and like says stuff. That doll has gone off on its own, and I've witnessed it. And not just the repeat thing where like when you press the doll it'll say something and then like 10 seconds later it'll say something else to turn off. Not that. I'm talking out of the blue, out of nowhere, the doll would just start doing stuff. Nick's witnessed it. I've witnessed it in the break room, and I went to record it and the phone didn't record until right as it stopped, and I couldn't believe it. Anyways, but that stuff does happen at Post Town. I don't know if I've caught poltergeist activity anywhere else. The basement, the freaking basement. We've caught poltergeist activity in the basement at least twice that I can think of. At least twice. But the basement's been pretty tame recently. I wonder what's happened with that. Anyways, Candy, thank you so much for telling me about that experience. Oh yeah, Pops, I left the garage door open because I got the hand shovel. I got the hand shovel out of it. My bad. Yeah, that was me. That was me. I can't believe I was able to read that message. That was like super lucky timing. All right, let's listen to the next one.
Kirsten says, as I moved into my flat, there was this one door that always stood open. Never thought much about it. It's an old house, and I thought that the hinge ain't broken, so I closed it every time I went by. Sometimes I heard a whisper of voice, but thought not much about it. It was kind of spooky, but I told myself that it must come from outside. Then one day, she felt the spirit sit down next to her. And so eventually she began talking to the spirit, and after she started talking to the spirit, the door started staying closed. That's wild.
So I think that was Kirsten. I accidentally put this on low quality. I thought it was on high quality, but that's why it's so hard to understand. But she was saying that she moved into this house, and there's this one door that would always be open. No matter how many times they closed it, no matter what they did, the door would always be open. And then she said she would hear these faint voices, and she just assumed they were from outside. And then one day, she felt someone sit down next to her when there was no one there at all. She clearly felt someone sit down next to her. And so she talked to her neighbor about it, and the neighbor said, maybe you should just talk out loud to the spirit and see if it helps. And so she started addressing the spirit. And after she started addressing the spirit, the door that was always open, it would remain closed. It started remaining closed. So I think what that is, that's a prime example of a spirit wanting to get your attention. So it's rare but not unheard of. So spirits usually try to keep their distance from us. Spirit energy and our energy, for some reason, it just doesn't mesh. It just doesn't mesh exactly right. And that's why we get goosebumps and freaked out when there's like a spirit around or something supernatural around. But for spirits, it's a similar experience, because they want to keep away from you because they're having some sort of reaction as well. Except there are spirits, like in this case, that want you to know they're there. They want you to know they're present, and they try to show themselves to you over and over again. And then once you acknowledge they're there, they'll calm down. And I'd imagine that's why a lot of people in residential hauntings don't know what to do, because normal people don't address that kind of thing. For years, I never knew about the paranormal. And even though my house was just insanely active, just all the time, I never thought to address it. I never thought to speak out loud to the things that were happening. It just never crossed my mind. And that's why in a lot of residential hauntings, if you just talk to the spirit, they'll calm down. And I don't know what the criteria is, but some spirits do just want you to know that they're there. Man, it's raining, but this Rain-X is working. This Rain-X is freaking working. Look, y'all seen Rain-X in action before? Surely. just beads on up. Well, y'all don't got a good view. It's like y'all are having a hard time seeing down there, but eye level's pretty good. Eye level's pretty good right now. Also, last thing to touch on that, spirits will usually stay in whatever room you're not using. So if you've got a room for storage, if you've got like an attic or a basement that you never go into, or if there's like a spare room that you never use, then that's probably where the spirits are going to stay in order to keep the energies from interacting. That's all of this is from sourcing from my own experience and from that which I've learned from others along the way. It's what I'm saying is you got to experience this stuff for yourself to know it exactly, to know how it is exactly. And it can change all the time. One day a spirit might exist that breaks all the rules. A spirit might come along and figure out how to interact with everything. And that day would be terrifying. Because it'd be like an invisible person. It'd be like a completely invisible person. If they could retain new memories and new knowledge, and they could interact with physical items, they could grab the wheel, or you know what I mean? Currently, they have to like either possess someone, or they have to generate enough force to make something change. And Supernatural, the show Supernatural, I thought they did a really good job. It was one of the earlier episodes where they encountered a ghost, and the ghost was able to move stuff, and they were like, how do you do that? And the ghost explained it to him, the spirit, the kid, he said, basically, you just push on it until it gives. And what he meant was, you keep focusing all your intent, your effort, and your energy into whatever you're doing, and eventually it'll give way. And I thought that was great, because that applies to everything. Like, if you're working on something like a career or a goal, a drawing, a painting, a song, a video, if you're building something, you have to keep pushing on it. You have to keep pushing through until it happens. And I just thought it was a great way. They did a great job of keeping you immersed into that show, into that completely fictional show. Anyways, let's continue on.
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
The windshield wipers. The windshield wipers don't work as well as the Rain-X. But the combination makes it to where this is easily manageable. Man, there's a lot of traffic. Like, what's the deal? What's the freaking deal? Oh, man. Oh. Well, no. Hey, no. Alright. I was thinking I was going to have to stop and get gas during 5 o'clock traffic. But I can make it till 6. I can make it till a little after 6. I'll be on my last few gallons. If this car held one more gallon, I wouldn't have to stop and get gas. If the car held one more gallon, I wouldn't have to stop. And I have enough gas and mileage to get all the way there. I would have like less than a quarter of a gallon left afterwards. So it would be cutting it way too close. It'd be cutting it way too close. All right, next experience. Guys, I'm like trying to focus on the road because there's so much traffic. I didn't expect all this traffic. And there's like a handful of cars that are just zipping by. Brave souls. Y'all ever see those people going like 100, 120? Just flying, whipping and weaving? Up in Connecticut, that's just normal driving. Like, their interstate driving is insane. They have 2-lane interstates. Like, it's like 2 lanes for each direction. And the merge lanes are non-existent. The normal speed there is 100 miles an hour. It's just insane. If you're going 80, you're in the slow lane. That's how crazy it is up there. All right, anyways.
I woke up to a shadow person sitting on my bed. When I reached out to touch it, he was gone. And I saw him going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm calling it him because that's what it feels like. It feels like it was a man. The house I the stuff being moved around since I moved in, but seeing it was creepy. That is creepy.
Julie Dale saw a full shadow person walking through her house. She even saw the shadow person get up and go to the bathroom. So guys, here's something people don't understand. The shadow people, they're not see-through. The shadow people are not see-through. They're not mists. They're not orbs. They're solid. They're absolute. They look like they have physical mass, and it's just the blackest black you've ever seen. And I've had an experience where I saw a shadow person walk down my hallway. It looked like they came out of my room and walked down the hallway into the living room. And they're solid. They're solid. There's no like see-through anything. Solid, like it looks like they have physical mass. And so Julie Dale, thank you Julie, by the way, for sharing your experience. Julie Dale said that the house she lived in was built in the 1800s, and there's like, I think the shadow people are, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal with it is, because they could absolutely be tied to spirits that used to be here. But I feel like there's something else, because Laramie saw a shadow person walk down her hallway, and then not even a week later, I saw a shadow person walk in my hallway. And I feel like there's some kind of like energy connection. Oh, why are we stopping? Why are we stopping? Oh God, we're stopping on the interstate. Please, car behind me, see that we're stopping. I'm always more worried about the car behind me, because I've had so many times where I managed to stop, but the car behind me goes like skirting off into the freaking... Oh no. Is there a lane closure? And someone slammed on their brakes. I can smell tires. I can smell freaking tires or something burning. It smells like burning rubber. Someone done slammed on their brakes. Oh, there's a sheriff. He's going up to see what the situation is. I'm gonna crack the windows. Get some fresh air. Get some water. It's weird, all the semi-trucks like panicked and got over, but none of the other cars did. I smell a skunk. What's a skunk doing out here? Oh my goodness, we're in a 6-minute delay. What's the dealio? Oh, I think there was an accident. Left lanes closed, half mile. Left lanes? Plural? I'll believe it when I see it. Excuse me. All right. So it's like stop and go right now, which is like the most difficult traffic to try and do anything in. Oh yeah, the left lane is 100 closed up there. We're gonna have to start getting over. Oh, buddy, damn it, you took my idea of getting on over. You straight took it from me. Oh crap. All right, we're getting over. Look, I love how cars are still like going past, like maybe it's not closed. But now that someone let me over, I've got to let someone over. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. But yeah, now it's my turn. All right, now that we're stopped, let's listen to the next one.
Williams says, in one of your lives, I felt something touch at my foot, and I mentioned it in the chat. I think you read the comment out loud, and over the gateway it said, I did it. Oh, that's creepy.
Guys, so for a while there, we used to have people having crazy experiences during the live streams. What the hell? It sounded like that truck just farted. All right. So back in the day, that was Leslie Williams, by the way. Leslie, thank you for sharing your experience. Guys, for a long time, people were having crazy experiences during the sessions where people were getting scratched, people's computers were shutting on and off, like just crazy stuff was happening during some of our sessions. And Leslie said here that she felt something grab her foot during the live stream. She typed it out on chat. I read it out loud, and then through the gateway, a spirit goes, I did it. Guys, how creepy is that? How creeped out would you be if you're watching a live stream, something grabs your foot, you mention it, and then a spirit responds over the live stream? That's what we call freaky deaky. No, I'm kidding. No, absolutely freaky. Absolutely freaky. So Leslie, thank you for sharing. And guys, like Leslie, if something happens to you during a stream, definitely type it out in the chat, just in case it is related, just in case there is something going on there. If the next left lane if this lane's closed too, that's going to be ridiculous. And guys, I swear, like, it seems like whenever there's a traffic slowdown on the interstate, it always seems like the right lane, the furthest right lane, seems to move the most. But I tried it. I tried it numerous times. Because, guys, I'm on the road every month, if not every week. And I've tried it. And for whatever reason, it doesn't work. What'll happen is you'll get ahead of some people when you're near an exit. Because people are pulling off on the exit. They don't want to deal with the interstate, whatever. And so you get ahead a little bit. And then you get just, like, plowed. Just, like, super slow down. And the left lane ends up being faster. Even though, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it. It always seems like the right lane's moving more. The left lane is faster for some reason. What are they doing here? This lane looks fine. I guess road work, maybe? Oh, yeah, there might have been an accident. What's the report say? It just says slow down. Sibsy? How do you pronounce that? S-I-B-C-Y? Sibsy? Sibsy Klein Realtors. It's free real estate. All right. Next one. Leslie, thank you for sharing your experience, by the way.
Was investigating a jail. I was in isolation, no one around me. I bent over to pick some equipment up when I felt a hand on my butt.
Oh!
Very quickly, got a laughing EVP. Oh my goodness.
Guys, so that's Lori Hegwood. That's right, the Lori Hegwood, OG Epic Family Lori. Lori was investigating a jail, and she was doing a solo session, and she was in there by herself, and she bent over to pick up the recorder, I think, and she felt something grab her butt. And when she played the EVP back, there was laughing at that moment after the spirit grabbed her butt. And guys, I can relate to this experience because in the basement, multiple times in the same spot, like next to the steps, I have felt something grab me, like in my lower back butt region. And I felt like it's like a pinch. That's what I felt. It's like something pinching me. And it felt like just like a thumb and a finger being like, blip. Just a little pinchy, little pinch action. And it's a freaky feeling. It's because something just happened. Something just happened, and there's like nothing you can do about it either. Oh, it sucks to be slowing down around a freaking bend like this. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh. No, sir. See, the right lane looks like it's just flowing. No problem. Just flowing on by. But those are cars we passed already, and now they're coming back. But again, I've tried it. I've tried it numerous times. It doesn't work. Just stick with the left lane. Stick with it. All right, next one. Now that we're chilling here. Now that we're chilling on the interstate.
Dory says my parents' house had a young woman spirit who would shake our beds, open cabinets, and show herself. One night I was going into the kitchen and she presented herself as me, a doppelganger. It scared me so much I moved out. I was 19. Dory, that's crazy.
Dory, that is crazy. So Dory, that's our girl, Dory Wheeler. So Dory said that in this house, they would feel their beds shaking and all kinds of crazy stuff. But the craziest thing, the thing that made her move out of the house is one day she went into the kitchen and she saw herself. So the spirit was mimicking what Dory looked like. So the spirit made it appear as if she was Dory. And that'd be enough to freak anybody out. Like, that's crazy. And so the bed shaking, I do want to touch on that too, because when I was a kid, I had to have been at least four, maybe five, maybe six, 4, 5, 6 years old. I would feel myself rise up in the air, like levitating. I would feel myself levitate when I was laying in bed to go to sleep. And it would scare me to death. It would scare me to death because it would feel like I would levitate, and then sometimes it would feel like I would levitate, and then it'd feel like my foot would get pulled up further, so I'd be like hanging upside down in the air. And that kind of stuff is just like super freaky, especially for being a kid. And when I was older, I would say early 20s, I felt something similar where I would feel like the bed moving, but I don't think I've ever felt it to where the bed's like shaking like back and forth violently or anything like that. I don't think I've ever felt that in particular. But I felt some similar things. And I know a lot of people have experienced the floating thing where like you go to lay down and it feels like you're floating. Like it feels like you float up off the bed. You can feel like the blanket move off of you, and it feels like you're just like, and you can see like you're at the ceiling. I might just be demonically possessed. That might be what it is. What it do. It could have been aliens. Guys, when I was speaking of aliens, when I was in 8th grade, I started seeing these lights out my window. These like lights, they would come out from the sky, these bright balls of light, and they'd come to the window and they'd light up the window, and then I'd wake up the next morning. And it happened multiple times. And then I started dreaming about UFOs, and I started dreaming about like these invisible entities that were able to communicate telepathically. It was super freaky. And then that shortly after that, I had my first experience with shadow people. And one night I was laying in my bed, and all of a sudden there were 2 chicks in my bed, and they were like tickling me. And I was trying to sleep, and I was like, stop. You're being annoying. And they had the voices of 2 girls in my class, Amy and Katie. And I don't think Amy and Katie were even friends, but they had their voices, but they were the shadow people. They were solid black shadow people. And again, as a normal person, as a non-paranormal person, I just thought it was some kind of weird, hyper vivid nightmare. Oh, there's Cincinnati. I never thought to address it. And this was back at my old house. Like, it was in the second house I ever remember living in. Y'all see Cincinnati coming up? We're about to turn up on it. We're about to turn up on it. Oh, your view is blocked by the freaking defrost. There, now you can kind of see. Oh, Cincinnati in the distance. Yeah, guys, I'm just now seeing Cincinnati, so I'm way behind. I've got to get way further. Man, the traffic going out of Cincinnati right now is like, it's always bad, but it's a standstill right now. I wonder why, like, guys, I don't understand why they work on the interstate during the day. Now, I mean, I get it. I guess because, like, no one wants to work the night shift, you know? But gosh darn, it would make things, like, because there's a lane closed going out of Cincinnati, and that traffic is just atrocious right now. But gosh darn, it would make things so much easier if they work during the night. But then again, they do. So when I leave Post Town, there's always construction. Whenever I leave Post Town, and I usually leave at like 2 or 3 in the morning, there's always active construction going on the interstates. And for some reason, in Ohio, I don't know what the deal is with Ohio, but for some reason, they're always working on the interstates, and it like never gets done. It never gets done. There's always like potholes, and they're always working on a lane or two. Man, this Jeep coming up behind me is flying. Bright blue, brand new Jeep. Oh, crap. Oh, whoa, I'm taking a different route. Oh, crap. I'm so used to going to Post Town.
In half a mile, keep right at the fork to continue on I-71
Normally,
north. Follow signs for Columbus, US 50 East.
Normally, I don't go that route. Guys, I'm like, the Post Town thing is wired into me. Alright, which way is Columbus? Oh, crap. 50 East. Okay, I gotta get over one more. I was in the completely wrong lane. I was as far over.
To continue on I-71 north.
50
Welcome
East.
to Ohio.
What's up, Ohio? Your boy's back. Your boy's
Continue
back.
for 23 miles.
I will. I'm not going to Post Town this time, though, which is weird. Alright, keep left. Oh, wait, y'all probably want to see. Oh, come on. Well, there's a good view of the buildings, and we totally missed it. Man, I haven't driven this way in a while. So back in the day, my GPS would try a bunch of different routes. It would try numerous routes to get me to Post Town. And one time it took me this way. One time it took me straight through the city. Like, straight through the city. Wait, which way am I supposed to be going? All right, right here, okay. And it was ridiculous. It was like, it was in the middle of the day, like 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. And my GPS was like, yeah, we should go through downtown Cincinnati. That should be all right. And there was like road closures that the GPS didn't take in account for. So I ended up in this really creepy neighborhood. And I was driving down this one street on like this outer bank edge or something. And there were all these abandoned houses. And they were just super, super creepy. And the investigator in me wanted to like do some EVPs, but the human being in me wanted to get out of there as quick as possible. All right, flipping y'all back around. Come on, car. There you go. Jack Casino. What a name for a casino. Why don't we just call it Jack? Sounds good. Let's do it. This lane doesn't end, does it? All right, I think that might have been the last one, but let's keep listening.
Austin, aka Explorer with Fluffy, says being possessed in an insane asylum.
Oh.
That's gotta be scary.
So guys, that was Exploring with Fluffy. Exploring with Fluffy says that he's been possessed in an insane asylum. That's got to be extremely scary. And guys, so with possession, here's my understanding of possession. When people go full possessed, like when they go completely into the spirit mode, they usually don't remember. They usually like black out. And whenever you don't remember something, it creates panic in your mind, even if it's like subconscious. it creates panic. That's why, like, a lot of people will cry after surgeries. At least that's my theory. It's because they black out. They unintentionally don't remember what's happened. And also, surgeries are just painful. But I feel like whenever your brain is missing a gap of time, it starts working overtime to try and figure out what happened. And it creates this kind of rift. And whenever you're fully possessed like that, there's more than just a rift going on in your brain. And so there's also the idea of did y'all get a little more turnt while I was gone? Looks like it's turnt a little bit. Oh, crap. I'm assuming we're back. Damn. Well, we'll make it work. Yeah, I should probably, you know what? I should probably ask him right now. Hey, will you have the other 250 for them when you get there? Because we still got to cover that. And so if you have it when you're there, just give it to them to cover the rest of the rental. Oh, we got a split lane. Split lane. Oh, okay, it says single lane. It didn't say stay in lane. Sorry, guys, there's like construction. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, we're stopping. We're stopping. Jeez. We're stopping. Yeah, with the streaming fee. Yep, that's right. Sorry, guys, I'm like hyper focused right now. Let's listen to the next one.
Aaron Bates says at the old Bryce hospital, I had a friend who got grabbed and then started going in and out of consciousness only until we saged her and got her off the property. Then she finally came back, or she finally came to. It was crazy.
All right, Aaron Bates. That's Aaron Bates talking about an experience she had at the Old Bryce Hospital. She was there with a friend. And guys, you and me have been to Old Bryce with Alex back in the day. And she was there with a friend, and her friend started going in and out of consciousness, like passing out while they were there. And so they had to take her outside, and they saged her. And once they got her out of the building and saged her, she came to just fine. And so with that, there's a couple of things that could have happened there. Are we back? Don't look, I gotta spit out my gum. And it's time for a sip of dew. Guys, I love this super weird zero sugar Mountain Dew. It tastes so weird. And for some reason, I like it. Oh yeah. Yeah, for some reason, Diet Mountain Dew, like regular Diet Mountain Dew, it makes me depressed. Like Diet Mountain Dew and peanut butter are two things that, for whatever reason, they make me extremely depressed. And I've tested it numerous freaking times. All right, so we were talking about Aaron Bates and her friend. So Aaron Bates went to the Old Bryce Hospital down in Alabama. It's a big abandoned building. And she had a friend with her. And her friend...
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
Her friend kept going in and out of consciousness once she entered the building. So eventually they realized they got to get her out of the building. And then they sage her. They get her to the building. They sage her. And after they do the saging, she comes back to normal. She like comes to. And so I was talking about what happened there. So there's two things that might have happened. And the thing I think that happened is she was feeling the spirit energy, and maybe her senses were opening up, maybe for the first time, or maybe just it was the only time it's opened up that dramatically, and all that energy like flooding in was just like knocking her out. It was just absolutely too much. And that can happen. The spirit energy can be overwhelmingly strong, and it can cause you to go in and out like that. And so it could have just been her sensitivity awakening, or she was, for whatever reason, she might have been hypersensitive that day. And the other thing is, it could have been one spirit. It could have been one spirit just latched onto her and was just trying its hardest to overcome her. And that was causing her to go in and out. And thankfully, they got her outside, because if it was just one spirit and the spirit managed to make her pass out, she would then be at her most vulnerable state. And that's when a spirit could really take over. And so, Aaron Bates, you did the right thing getting her out of the building and then saging her, getting some sage smoke on her. That was the right call. That was the right call. And guys, I'm pretty sure the one we went to was Old Bryce. It might not have been. It might have been a different one. But yeah, so that was not last year. but the year before. Oh yeah, I need to get over. People are passing me. But yeah, so for my, I guess, 28th birthday, 28th or 29th birthday, I went down to Alabama and spent a week with Alex. And we hit a crap ton of locations. It was pretty cool. What am I talking about? It was really cool. It was super cool. All right, let's listen.
Guys, thank you so much. I know this is last minute.
Oh, that was it.
Your craziest experiences. Hopefully, we have a good live stream talking about this future, Eric. I trust that you did awesome. And what's up, Sam? This is Dennis Eric talking to you. What's up, Sam?
All right, a little message there from Past Eric. Past Eric saying what's up. And that's what's up. So guys, I'm very excited for this trip to begin. Very excited to be back on the road. I wanted this stream to last 2 hours, but I don't think we're gonna quite make it to 2. Because that way a solid chunk of my driving would be done. But while I'm talking here, I'm sure I'll think of something to say. I do want to say that the new gateway, so on the Patreon stream last night, we built another gateway. And guys, let me tell you, it was straight popping. It sounded so good, and it was so lightweight. It was just like incredible. I couldn't believe it. And so I'll be using it, obviously I'll be using it tonight and throughout this week. Guys, everywhere I'm going is a new place. Everywhere a new location. So basically I'm stoked. I'm freaking stoked. So the schedule's going to be tonight. Tonight I'll be live around 8 or 8:30. I'd imagine probably like 8:30. 8 or 8:30. I'll be live for about 2 hours, then we're taking a break. And then around 11 or so, we're going live again. And that time it'll be lights out. It'll be the SLS. The big boy SLS. The big guns. And oh my goodness. So I did find out earlier that one of the people coming with us, they were not able to make it. So it's going to be just your boy Sean and your boy Epic over here. And we're going to have this massive place to ourselves. We're going to have a total of 2 live streams each. We're going to stick together the whole time. So Sean and me will be together the entire time we're live. And then once we're done with the live streams, then we're going to do some solos and make some raw videos. So just like straight, like no cuts, no edits, and we'll upload those at a later date. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking awesome. Oh yeah. I told the Patreon members this, but tomorrow night I have an experiment lined up, and it's a crazy awesome experiment. It's oh my goodness, I'm so excited to try it. And guys, it's one of those experiments where there's a high probability that nothing will happen. But there is a slight chance that we'll discover some new craziness in interacting with the spirits. So I'm super excited. I've got an awesome experiment lined up for tomorrow. And you won't want to miss that. That's going to be super cool. The new gateway devices are going to be busted out tonight. That's going to be cool. And the newest one I just built is so lightweight that I think I'm just going to carry it on me like the entire time. And that way we can just bust it out, use it real quick. Use it right quick. But as soon as we find like a hot spot, like a super active spot in the building.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-71 North.
Okay. But yeah, we're going to look for some hot spots initially. And once we find some hot spots, what was that, the recorder?
Keep left to stay on I-71 North.
I got you. Once we find a super active area, then I think I'm going to bust out the big gateway. The gateway with
Continue
4
on
inputs.
I-71 North for 83 miles.
I will continue. But yeah, because man, I think the gateway with the 4 inputs, it's got to be about 120, 130 pounds, like right around there. It's got to be. It's just got to be. Oh, whoa. Oh, poor guy. Well, they pulled over 2 people on this tiny little stretch of interstate right here. My heart's beating for him. Guys, being pulled over sucks, but being pulled over on the interstate, that sucks the most. That's like the most suck out of all of it. By far. Last time I got pulled over, the cop was super nice. And we were on an interstate that didn't have a shoulder. It didn't have a freaking shoulder. So I had to get off on an exit. And then the road we got on had no shoulder. So I had to keep driving with a cop behind me with the lights on until we found a turn. And then I turned into this like gas station. And yeah, he was very nice. I told him right off the bat, I was like, I'm sorry, it was all my fault. But yeah, so guys, if you're on the Ohio interstates today, they've got speed traps everywhere. Like they had a double trap set up there, and 2 people just got pulled over. We saw one guy get pulled over. I should have flipped the camera around, but I didn't want to mess with it while there are cops flying around. Oh, whoa. Water slide. Guys, when's the last time you were at an amusement park like Kings Island or something like that? I went probably 4 years ago was the last time I went. I used to go like every year. And guys, roller coasters are insane because like part of the thrill is like this thing could fall apart or there could be a malfunction. And the last time I went, they kept shutting these rides down, and like we got off this one and they shut it down right after. The whatever controls like the speed limiter on this one ride was malfunctioning, and we were just going just ridiculously fast around all these corners and turns and corkscrews. And it was the alien hangar. It was the alien hangar ride at Kings Island, and the one that goes like from 0 to 60 right off the rip. And we rode it early in the morning with no biggie. It was just like the normal ride where like you ride, and then when you're about to hit the corkscrew, it like slows way down and then goes through the corkscrew and speeds back up. But the second time we rode it later in the day, it's like the brakes didn't work. It's like there was no longer any brakes, because when we got to the corkscrew, instead of slowing down, we just went straight through, maximum speed, G-forces out the wazoo. It was terrifying. And when we got off the ride, there were like these 2 people, like they were having trouble getting out of the cart. Like it was devastating. My back felt compressed after riding it, but like it was scary. It was super scary. And then we rode one of the next rides we rode. It got shut down right after we got off of it, but we didn't know why, because it felt like it rode normal. Felt like it rode totally normal, but it got shut down right after, and I was like, damn, how close are we coming today? Yeah, roller coasters are a trip. I would like to investigate a theme park after hours. So, like, after everyone's left, I would love to investigate and see if there's a lot of residual energy, see if we can pick up on any of the spirits of people who passed away there from tragic accidents and whatnot. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be really cool. All right, I guess I'm gonna get over it. I guess I'm feeling a little braver. But yeah. Also, an abandoned theme park. All right, we got an increase in the speed limit. Nice. An abandoned theme park, that would just look cool. That would just look super cool. Oh yeah, guys, so I was telling the Patreon members this last night. I did get a bunch of offerings for all the spirits. I got coffee, tobacco, and alcohol for the adults, and then I've got toys and whatnot for the kids, and candy. I got some candy to leave out. And part of the reason I'm doing these offerings like this on this trip is because our review, when we reviewed that Post Town stream, the one called Openings and Offerings, that was one of the most active nights I've ever had there. And there was a bunch of offerings involved. And so I wanted to do that this time. It's a traditional thing to offer the spirits things, and especially like sugar, tobacco, alcohol, coffee. Those are classic offerings. Classic offerings. Guys, I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty hungry. I'm pretty hungry. Man, what's crazy is like the gas gauge is just barely under the full line, and that just lets me know that I have a lot longer to go. Oh yeah, guys, what about the communication last night? We're going to be using that gateway at these locations. All right, guys. I'm probably going to hop off here. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm trying to rack my brain around a couple of things. September 14th is the Post Town event. Guys, get your tickets. When I get back from this trip, I'm going to be blasting out promos for the event. I'm going to be blasting out promos. And, because we still have a few spots available. And then, oh yeah, and then the drone. I got to figure out what Pops' match is total for the drone. And then we got to start getting that ready. Get the drone license. Wonder how much that'll be. So we got the drone coming up. We got the Post Town event coming up. I really want to, guys, I went back and reviewed a lot of the footage from when MC, Nick, and me investigated Post Town for our live documentary, and there's so much good stuff. There's so much good stuff on that I want to make. I want to make it into an actual documentary. But I don't have the first clue about making a documentary. Like, not even. I guess I could base it on another documentary and like try and match the cuts and whatnot, but I guess I just got to try it. I just got to try it, huh? All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to get off here. I'm trying to think of anything else. So tonight, going live around 8:30, and then again around 11 or 11:30. And then tomorrow, I'll be live around the same time, 8:30. Maybe sooner if we can get into the location tomorrow sooner. Because I would like to have some daylight before it gets all dark. And then Saturday, Saturday's going to be awesome. Saturday, we have another awesome location, and we'll be live around the same time, 8:30. So guys, all for the next, and then Sunday, I'll be live around 5 or 6. So Sunday it'll be a little earlier. I guess it depends on what time I leave. It might even be earlier than that. And Sunday, basically on my way back, I'm stopping off at a spot and just doing a brief little investigation. Something just super quick on my way back home. So every night, though, for the next few nights, Epic Paranormal TV around 8 o'clock, 8:30, on location, boots on the ground, live stream, investigations. I don't have my boots. I cannot believe I forgot my boots. I even packed the extra socks. So the boots require an extra pair of socks. And I packed those like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot the boots. I should have put them by the front door. It's all good though. I'll just buy a new pair. I can't today though. I'm out of time today. I'll have to buy them tomorrow. All right, but yeah, guys, that's it. That's it for now. I'm going to snack on some of my snacks here. And Fort Ancient American Indian Museum. That sounds interesting. All right, I love y'all. I will see you all tonight. Thank you all for keeping it so lit. I see that people threw it down, guys. Thank you. Straight popping. This guy is riding me tonight. The shout outs are going to be straight popping, so get ready for that. That's going to be epic. All right, I love y'all. Stay awesome, stay tuned, stay lit, stay epic. And guys, I will live streams tonight on location. Let's go.